Well guys, she's that time of year again. Of course, the snow is on the ground and all that good stuff. So it's that time of year where, well, it's time to do the winter tire changeovers on the 2009 GMC Canyon. Most years, by the time the first snow hits, I already got them changed over. However, this snowfall came earlier than I guess what you could call as normal, or normal what it's been lately anyway. So it's kind of caught me a bit flat-footed, and we've had snow now for whatever it's been now, pretty close to being 2 weeks, and it doesn't really show much signs at all of letting up. So I'm gonna do my winter tire changeovers today. However, temperature wise it's like -7, and yeah, I don't really look forward to doing it myself this year because of the coolness, but something that needs to be done. And hey, the shops are busy because of the snow. Kind of caught everybody flat-footed, so I guess she needs to be done myself. So guys, as you sort of see before us here, we got the tires dug out and laid out in the appropriate corners of the truck. Of course, paying attention to the corner they came off of last spring, and what you want to do is basically rotate your tires by putting the right rear on the left front and vice versa, you know, rotating them around like that. Now what I do is every year I mark, when I take them off the truck, I mark the corner they came off of. Of course, this one came off of the right rear, so therefore it would go on the left front. And I've done this now for, I don't know, I think it's been about 4 winters. My tires are wearing fairly evenly now, then that way, you know, they don't really cause much of an issue. These here, of course, are the winter tires. They're not all-season tires, they're not summer tires, they're not, you know, these ones here are the Firestone brand, and they are winter force, as well as they are, not sure if you guys can see them, they are studded as well. See there, just to give you the extra little grip on the ice. And as you can see here, this here, not last winter, but the winter before, was on the rear at one time, as you can tell by the way she's worn. But guys, I got them all laid out in front of me here, and the tools that I do use for my tire changeovers are, you know, semi-simple. I've got a wonderful Princess Auto 2.5 ton Power Fist floor jack, of course purchased on sale. I have a nice Mastercraft, you know, electric of all things, impact gun, which I've had now for probably going on 5-6 years, and it's done me fairly well. I know some of you are probably asking, why don't you have an air impact? Well, way I figure is, as long as the electric one is going, why you know, why shelve it and dish out the cash for a fancy, you know, air one, right? As well as not showing here in front of you, I have a torque wrench to do the final torquing on the nuts after I got everything, just to make sure they're tight, because last thing you want is your wheel flying off as you're going a $140 down the 4-laner. So guys, we're gonna get out of here, get her all changed on over, and you know, kind of see how she goes from there. So we'll check back in. Well guys, we've gone through halfway through our changeover here. We got the left rear all switched over, changed over, and the nuts tightened but not torqued, of course. The factory wheels on the ground. We're over here on the right hand corner, changing over the wheel, and as you see here, all the nuts are off of the wheel here. But the issue I'm having is the wheel itself, the rim itself, is like stuck to the truck. Now what it is you got the steel, you know, of the truck, the back drum here, and the aluminum of the wheel. And through the corrosion that happens when stuff gets wet between, you know, steel and aluminum, you know, there's a corrosion that happens naturally there too that's working against you. They tend to fuse together, and over time it'll actually can get to the point where they actually are fused and stuck together almost to be one, if you will. Now sometimes you can give them a tap with a hammer to knock them loose. In most cases all you got to do is kick them, because it's just a fine little layer of corrosion that's like gluing it all together. And in extreme cases, what you do is you loosen the nuts slightly, find yourself an empty parking lot and do some real tight like S corners or circles, and usually it'll break that corrosion loose. Of course you want to make sure the parking lot's empty, so if something does go horribly wrong, like the wheel flying off, it doesn't take out someone else's car. But most of the time, all you got to do is give it a good kick, and it'll break that layer of corrosion loose. And pretty much as you see there, this is kind of what was holding it. The darker brown spots, I'm going to assume, would be the corrosion, you know, sticking into, you know, around here, right? Now a guy could probably paint all that up and he'd be okay for a few seasons, but of course it would come back. Eventually, yes, if I do keep this truck long enough, I will sandblast down them hubs and you know, and drums and all that good stuff, and give them an all, you know, truck bed coating or some kind of painting. But guys, that was the first snag that I hit, changing them. It does happen. I was kind of hoping it would happen this year, then that way I could catch it on video to show you guys. Of course, if you go back and review my other videos, I've made other videos on this process before. This is kind of just a different bird's eye view of the changeover. So guys, of course, we're pretty much, you know, if you will, halfway through. We got the other half to do, and then we're golden. So guys, we'll, you know, check in later. Well guys, got all 4 tires changed on over. Of course, as you see here, we got the left ones all changed over, and of course around the other side of the truck here, you'll see the right ones all changed over as well. No real big surprises on the other ones here, you know, for them sticking or anything like that. But I went around and I checked the tire pressure, and of course we're low by about 5 pounds or so on each one of the tires. So you're going to want to, if your tires are like mine, you change them on over every spring and fall, you know, you're going to want, of course, check your tire pressure before you start driving on them, because sometimes they will lose pressure sitting in the shed over the summer. You can't expect them to hold pressure as well. And as well as, even if you do check the tire pressure when it's warm, the air pressure in the tire will have changed by the time it's cold, because the you know, the air density changes in the, you know, the cooler weather, right? You can actually scare, if you will, you can actually scare the air right out of the tire in the wintertime when the tire gets cold. It'll actually, like, if you will, disappear out of the tire just because of the air temperature difference. And I've had tires in the shed that have never seen the road, that were aired up perfectly fine, and they've gone flat just sitting, just because of the tire changes that go on during the winter, you know, the pressure sensitive changes and all that fancy stuff. But guys, of course, we got the tires off. Now what I'm going to do is use a paint marker, and I'm going to mark which corner of the truck they came off of. And of course this one here came off the right front, so you write on it, you know, RF. Now other people might have other methods for their markings and all that good stuff to do, but this is a method that you know, does work for me. So of course next year, or the spring, when I go to put these tires on, I put that right rear one on the left front, and then she'll be good to go for another season. by then these tires will be getting on to be whatever it is, they're 5 years old, so you never know, that might be the last spring for them, or providing the sidewalls aren't gone or checked or rotting, dry rot, then I might just keep running them for as long as they'll run. You know, you can run pretty much anything, if you will, in the summertime that will hold air and give you appropriate traction in dry and wet conditions. You know, I've seen some mighty scary, if you will, semi-bald, wore-out tires that people were still getting around on and doing quite fine, you know. Of course, the winter is another story. That's where people seem to get into trouble. They don't have, you know, decent winter tires. They just running their factory tires, which quite often are what I call smooth tires, because I don't know, the vehicles nowadays don't have, you know, grippy tires coming out of the factory. They're a low pro, you know, type of smooth type of tire to you know, for the ride, right? They don't have the grippies, you know, as much as they need to anyway. But guys, you know, like I said, we did the changeover here. We torqued our nuts, of course, off a camera. We're gonna add some air to the tires, all 4 of them, with our nice handy dandy air compressor. Just got her currently filling up with air, and you know, pretty much we got our nuts torqued and we're good to roll. So guys, this has just been a kind of a brief little tutorial of a tire changeover. By no means is this method you know, that I've kind of talked about, haven't really shown, but talked about, recommended for anybody to do. This is just the method that works for me. And you know, if you can't handle this, then consult a professional, because not torquing your wheels properly, or not even installing them properly, can cause, you know, damage to your vehicle, injury to yourself and others. So guys, thanks for watching this video, and as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.